The next question is, other than immediate family, what other relatives did you have contact with growing up? So was there any other family not in the house that you remember?
There was nobody in the family until Albert got married who moved away. And then the others gradually got married, at some time or other, but not as a youngster.
So you don't remember any uncles or aunts?
Yes, I had quite a number of relatives, as you call them, don't you?
Yeah.
Aunts and uncles. I'm trying to think what they did, like.
Did they live close by or?
No, well, the one married. No. We had an aunt lived with us, although someone suggested to me that she was a child of my mother's.
Yeah.
Lily.
Yeah.
I can remember Lily, and I called her Auntie Lily, and as far as I know, she was my mother's sister.
Yeah.
One of the kids had...
Yeah, there was a dispute of whether it was because of the age of your parents, wasn't it?
Yeah, and she looked after Lil and brought her up, I suppose, as a sister. But I think she was just... I don't believe this business about my mum having a kiddie. Yeah.
I suppose being the youngest, you don't really remember your grandparents, do you? Because they would have... were they still alive, all of them?
Well, there was this... I think this was my mother's father, but I don't think my dad's father. Doesn't ring any bells at all with me.
No.
His grandparents. But there were plenty of aunts who I could go and see, and did.
Yeah.
Lived in places that were reachable with my bike, Yeah. And I had an aunt lived in King's Heath in Birmingham that I used to go and see sometimes. They put me up with the night as well sometimes, I think. They were caring people.
Yeah.
And some of them, anyhow, they might have children who didn't think much of me, can you?
Yeah.
Or older children, if you know what I mean. But the parents would make sure I was looked after. And I used to go up and stop there sometimes, overnight,
Yeah. When did your brothers and sisters start to move out? Do you remember?
Other than Albert, who got married, you see.
Yeah.
But then I think the others, they didn't get married very early.
No.
I don't remember them being married very early, but they did. They got married soon, if I can put it that way. But not especially early. They didn't. I don't remember any suggestion that they had to get married or anything particularly like that. But Nora, for example, married a fella called Jack. Greenaway, and he smoked like a chimney, and he died of consumption. He killed himself virtually. Yeah. And she lived till she was about 70. Nora did, and she looked after me quite a bit. Yeah. She'd got children of her own as well, and I could play with them if I wanted to. Yeah. But Nora looked after me all right. So, but as I say, she got married to this bloke called Jack, who was a lovely bloke, a nice fella, but he smoked like a bloody chimney. And he killed himself, I would say. Funny, isn't it? It reminded me of things.
It's all right. It's good
right,
things, that.
Now, what did the others do about marriage? They all got married, I think.
Yeah.
It was... who have I talked about? Margaret got married to a fella who lived in King's Heath and was fairly well off compared with us.
Yeah.
I think. Not terrific,
Tremendous.
but she went out with him and eventually they got married. John something. But I didn't got much on him. It's funny, isn't it, how you form stupid bloody ideas about people. But
for no reason.
He saw him and, I think he saw himself as not just working class, if you... It was a bit up.
A bit better, yeah.
Than we were. Who was he? That was Margaret, wasn't it, we said. And we said, and Nora and Jack. Now Katie married Arthur Pratt, of all names. Arthur Pratt. And I think he got quite a reasonable job, but he was still a worker. Yeah. He got a reasonable job, but he's still a worker, not an office boy. And eventually, he worked for Cadbury's.
Yeah.
Later on. Well, they moved house for some reason or other. Katie did. And then he had trouble when he was about 58, I think it was. I'm sorry.
Sorry?
It's about 58, he fell off a ladder or something like that at work in Cadbury's and died.
Oh.
And that left Katie living on her own for years and years. Eventually, Katie lived with other children that related to her, if you want to.
Yeah.
Not for a long time, but eventually lived with one of the daughters or somebody like that towards the end. And eventually she lived till she was about 70-ish, somewhere around there. Sorry.
It's all right. So, I know this is a bit after all the period we're talking about, but did your parents stay in the house for their whole life, or did they move elsewhere once you'd all left the house?
Well, the war came, you see, and that rather buggered things up a bit.
Yeah.
Although I find it difficult. You see, by the time war came, I was 20 or something like 20. 1939, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And I was born in 1919. I was 20 when war broke out, and I must have already joined the RAF when I was 15.
Yeah.
So it was only part of the job, if you know. Can you follow me? It was not a question, shall I join you up?
No.
I belonged to the RAF.
Yeah.
And so promotion was fairly rapid. And that happened to me. Before long I was a flight sergeant or something like that, But I never got my commission. And that's one of the reasons I left the RAF early. Early. I couldn't leave. I had to stop in the RAF till I was 30. and then I could go on till I was 42.
Yeah.
But when I was approaching 30, I was married when I was about 27, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And my wife was about 24. And I left the rap and I made a decision that what would I do when I was 42? Would I have to start a different career because I still hadn't got my commission in the rap? Although, as I say, I was earning quite a bit of money in those days. And what was I going to say?
We were talking about did your parents stay in the same house after?
Well, I think the house got badly damaged during the war. This is where.
Because it was Birmingham, yeah.
Yeah, where my mum died before he did. He lived till he was about 78.
Yeah.
But he was constantly having, what do you call it, strokes.
Mm-hmm, yeah. That's what they call it.
But living till he was 78 was a long time, you know.
Yeah, for that time.
And the only thing he was interested in, he was quite prepared. They got television by then, I think. He was quite prepared to watch the television cricket. That's about it.
Yeah.
But he eventually had to go and live with one of the children, I think, you know, daughters.
When did your mum die?
Mum died about considerably before that. They were living in this house and it got damaged.
Yeah.
You know, it got damaged by the bombing in Birmingham. Because they were only about a mile and a quarter from the centre.
Yeah.
I don't think the trams were still running. I can't remember. But she died. And I didn't go to see her.
Was this during the war or after the war?
I think it was just after the war. Or not just after. It'd be some time after.
Yeah.
And my daughter, my sister, Margaret and Katie used to go to the hospital to see her. Mm-hmm. And she got a growth of some sort. I don't know what it was, and they phoned me, but they said it's no good coming particularly to the hospital unless you really want to, you know. Yeah. They said, because you won't know who you are.
Do you remember the last time you saw her before that?
Oh, I was married. I must have been married then. And I've got plenty on my hands, if you know what I mean. But she, I can't remember. She must have been around 70 or something, 65 or 70 or something, and she just died, I think, you know. I can't. She got a growth of some sort that was knocking her about a bit. And she, my daughter said, Margaret, like, when
sister,
we're talking on the phone, that you can come if you want to, but she's not going to come round. She won't be able to tell who you are.
Yeah. So you didn't go to the funeral either then?
I think I may have gone to the funeral.
Yeah.
Quite likely, but I can't put a date on it particularly. She must have been getting on, you know. But she died.
Okay. Next question.